Deciding to buy your own home is exciting. Saving the deposit, less so. The cost of buying a property has risen and the cost of running it, well, we can all take a guess at how that's panned out recently. But saving a deposit for your first home is within the reach of many, and with the steps I'm going to share with you in this video, you'll be in a far better position in no time at all. First, we got to look at the cost of buying a home. And if we look at the data in real terms, the income to house price ratio has more than doubled from 1980 to 2023. Now, to you and I, this means that taking into account income levels and the cost of buying a property, it's over twice as difficult to buy a home today than it was in 1980. And if your parents or your grandparents say anything to the contrary, show them this video. But let's be honest for just a second. Buying your first home can feel like a mammoth task, and it does so because it is for many of us. Buying a property costs money, and running and maintaining a home costs even more. And if you've never had to do this before, then be prepared for a huge chunk of your salary to disappear into the ether every single month. Okay, right. Connor, calm yourself. That's enough negative chat for one video. On the other side of things, I fully believe that if you plan for it and take action daily, there are many ways to help you get on the property ladder quicker and easier, and I'll share them all with you now. But first, we need to understand what deposit you need as a first-time home buyer. Using data from the official Northern Ireland House Price Index, the average house price in 2023, last quarter of 2023, was £179,530. Let's say 180 grand for easy maths. Generally speaking, with a first-time buyer mortgage, you'll need either a 5% or a 10% deposit saved, depending on the mortgage provider's lending requirements. And recently I reached out to Aisling Brady of Mortgage Solutions Belfast to give us some more insight into the types of deposit and the levels of deposit that would be needed.
When you're buying your first property, there are mortgages out there that will allow you to borrow up to 95% of the purchase price. There are also some lenders that will allow you to get a 100% mortgage where no deposit is needed as long as you meet their criteria. But what you want to think about whenever you're deciding on how much deposit to put down is always remember, the bigger the deposit, the better. The bigger the deposit, the smaller the mortgage, the smaller the monthly mortgage payments, and it also allows you access to more competitive interest rates as well. It may even be an option to decrease the mortgage term so that your mortgage is paid off over a shorter number of years if that fits in with your affordability. So yes, you can get a mortgage with a 5% deposit or no deposit if this fits in with your budget, but if you are able to put down a bigger deposit, it is always a good idea to go for the bigger deposit and save yourself interest as well over the years of your mortgage.
Thank you, Aisling, for sharing those words. And what I took away from that was that the larger deposit that you can save, the more access that you will have to competitive interest rates from a better variety of lenders. So my advice then is to save as big a deposit as possible, because the more you can save now will help you with the interest rate that you get, but also will ensure that you have less interest to pay overall. And a word of warning for people who are considering 100% mortgages. Back in 2007, these were incredibly popular and they worked so well at helping many thousands of people get on the property ladder. But as house prices fell over the next few years, many of these people were trapped in negative equity homes, and I promise you, some still are. Doesn't matter what level of deposit you're going to have, always speak to an independent mortgage advisor who will be able to look at the full breadth of deals that are available on the market. Now, going back to the deposit, if we use average house price as a guide, at 5% deposit, you'll need £9,000, and at a 10% deposit, you'll need £18,000. Depending on your circumstances, this might feel like a little, or it might feel like an insurmountable goal. But if you don't start saving, I promise you that you'll never be able to buy your first home. So hands up if you enjoy saving. Nobody enjoys saving. Giving up anything for a short time is incredibly hard. But with many deposits taking months and even years to save, this goal can feel distant and completely unachievable. Yet with just a few small changes to your spending habits, a plan, and the determination to stick with it, your first home is entirely within reach. And it's even easier if you consider my 4 top tips. The first one is affordability. The second one, setting a budget. The third one, increasing your income. And the fourth and final one is to use the Lifetime ISA or other cash saving accounts. We're going to talk about affordability. Before saving for a deposit, one of the questions you must answer is, can you afford a home? And to be completely clear, affordability is not what the mortgage advisor says that you can borrow, but what you can afford to pay towards the running and owning of a home each month. Usually, mortgage borrowing limits are about 3 to 4.5 times your annual income, but this does vary by lender, so do check with an independent mortgage advisor to confirm how much you can borrow. Assuming you earn £30,000 per year and can get a mortgage of 4.5 times this amount, you could borrow up to £135,000. Buying a home with a partner with a joint mortgage is calculated in a similar manner, and it's done so with the two incomes taken into account. Again, I would always advise you to check with an independent mortgage advisor to confirm the options available to you in your circumstances. And look, I get it. It's tempting to meet with the mortgage advisor and then immediately hop onto property news and looking at the top end of your budget. And this would be wrong. What we all do, because what the mortgage advisor says that we can borrow and what we can afford are two entirely different things. Let's assume that you and your partner are each earning £30,000 per year and you can get a joint mortgage with a combined value of £270,000. Boom! But if we assume a 4.89 interest rate, which is about standard in today's market, the monthly repayments would be £1,561. Hands up. Did it again. If you've an extra £780.50 each month right this second to pay for your half of the mortgage. In fact, look, as somebody who is on £30,000 a year after tax and national insurance contributions, your take-home pay currently is £2,064.25. Considering the mortgage payment alone, this would eat up 38% of your take-home income. So my advice here is to remember that this is your first home. Buy with your head and buy what you can afford. My second tip, boom, is to set a budget. Right now, you will rightly assume that saving for your deposit is the most important factor. When you eventually buy the home, this completely flips, does a 180, because you'll have significant running costs that need to be considered to ensure that you can afford those when you need them. Let's stop for just a little second, take a pause, because I'm rushing through this. Before even thinking about your deposit, we need to consider the amount of money it will cost to run the home. A great exercise that I personally did, and I recommend that everybody does, is to create a future household budget. List out all of your expected costs of running a home, such as your mortgage, food and drink, less drink, more food, insurance, heating, electricity, your household rates. And after calculating all of the expected costs of running your home for the month of the year, you need to set your current budget to a level that allows you to consistently save and put away that amount. Live like you're already paying each of those costs every month while you're saving towards your deposit, and put that money into a savings account until you have enough. Super easy. Only joking. Now, I can already feel the furious and stampy typing on keyboards right across the country from those of you who are renting. And let's be completely clear, I empathise with you fully. Many of the costs that I've just mentioned of running a household are your costs already, and unless you can significantly reduce or remove those altogether, your deposit progress will be much slower. However, the process is exactly the same. Live like you own that home now and put any surplus money from your current budget into your deposit savings. Budgeting sucks, and you will have to make choices every single time you go to tap a payment. Do you want that outfit, that coffee, or that holiday more than you want your own home? Nobody can answer this but yourself, and the choices you will make daily with every purchase decision will directly affect how quickly you can save for that deposit. Yes, it's cliche for me to say ditch the daily coffee, but these smaller transactions or your monthly subscriptions add up entirely. A £4 coffee every single weekday is £20 a week or £80 a month. And if you spend £30 a week going out, there's another £120 every single month. Straight away, £200 cut from a lot of budgets. Right now though, the cost of living has never been higher, and saving has never been harder. But if you're ruthless with your budget and cut out any unnecessary spending or any spending that you value less than your new home, you're on the right track. Now, the third tip that I have is to increase your income. Many of you saving for your first home will be in the early stages of your career, and this often means that your earning power, which generally grows with experience and time served, is lower. But if you're saving for your deposit and your budget doesn't stretch as far as it needs to, you'll need to figure out a way to either earn more money or to reduce your spending. This doesn't mean that you need to start a business or a side hustle, though for many people this is a great option. An equally valid way to earn more money is to get a temporary second or part-time job. Not only will you increase your income, but you'll learn more from doing another job, and you will gain more experience that could help you grow your income in your 9-to-5 as well. And the fourth tip is putting your savings to work for you. And this is probably the most important step of the entire process, because while we're building up our deposit for our home, we want that money to be working for us as best as possible. Now, I am always, and you'll know this if you watch my videos, a huge fan of investing, but this is the one time where I'll steer you clear of doing so, because the stock market fluctuates daily, and on any given day our stocks could be up and our shares could be down. While over the long term we would expect our investments to increase, in a recession or a market downturn your investments could be significantly lower, and that could be significantly lower than the amount that you put in. And sod's law, this would happen when we need it most, well, when we put in the offer for our first home. Generally speaking, your deposit should be saved in an instantly accessible savings account, and there are two that I recommend. The first is a cash savings account. Now, the flip side to higher interest rates pushing up mortgage interest costs and loan costs is that the money we save in savings accounts usually attract higher interest rates. Today, you can achieve anywhere between a 4 and a 5% return on any money you have saved with most online and high street banks. Using a cash savings account, your money will get a guaranteed return and your savings will be instantly accessible to you when you need them. The second type of account that I would recommend is a lifetime ISA. Rarely is there such a thing as free money, but with a lifetime ISA, this is the exception. If you're over 18 and under 40 years of age, you can open a lifetime ISA, and it's very specific, a lifetime ISA or LISA. Or Lisa. For every pound you contribute up to the maximum of £4,000 per year, the government will give you a 25% bonus on the total amount you pay in. That means if you pay in the maximum amount of £4,000 between the 6th of April and the 5th of April next year, you'll receive a tax-free bonus of £1,000 automatically into the same account. Usually this is paid in at the end of each month to match the amount of transactions or the transactions level that you made in that period. What's important here is that the lifetime ISA was specifically set up to help you buy your first home or to save for later in life. You can open one lifetime ISA per person per tax year, and if you and a partner are planning to buy a home together, you're both first-time buyers and you both meet eligibility criteria, you can each open and save money into your own lifetime ISA account. And as long as you've opened an account before you turn 40, you can pay into a lifetime ISA up until the day before you turn 50 years of age. Buying your first home is a massive milestone, but one that I believe is fully achievable with the right mindset and the right approach. By getting a firm grasp on the true cost of home ownership, creating a realistic budget, exploring options to boost your income if needed, and taking advantage of government saving schemes like the Lifetime ISA, you can make steady progress towards your deposit savings. It will take discipline, determination, and some sacrifices along the way, but the reward of finally getting the keys to your own place will make it all worthwhile. Stay focused, keep chipping away, and before you know it, you'll be moving into your first dream home. Thank you as always for watching my videos. Please do hit that subscribe button, and if you like my content, please share it with someone else.